So, the day comes, January 4th, the day we've all been looking forward to as wrestling fans for months. The day we're really excited to see. Let me say this. In the first hour of Raw, the second hour of Impact, that excitement of switching from channels to channels that I did throughout the whole night, I thought was great. I thought that I really enjoyed today. Today was one of the best days you could ever be as a wrestling fan. Really fun day to constantly be going back and forth from channel to channel, from what this show has to this show has to this show has to this show has. TNA, I think you guys saw this. I thought TNA was horrendous. I honestly detest this fucking company right now. WWE, I thought was disappointing for the most part. I thought the Bret Hart stuff was good. I loved the ending. I really loved the ending. I thought the ending was beautiful. But I thought it was disappointing. It was kind of the same, boring, what we usually get from Raw every single week. Bret Hart didn't play much of a factor in the show as I hoped he would. But people think TNA is better because of the main event. Obviously, the main event on TNA was excellent. I mean, excellent. One of the best matches I've seen all year in 4 days. Whereas the main event for Raw didn't really deliver. And the main event, and reason I think people think TNA is so good is because, damn, everything was on there. You had Hogan, Nash, Hall. Here's the thing. Too many things were on there. You had Hogan, Hall, Nash, X-Pac, the Nasty Boys. The Nasty Boys who showed up to fucking wrestle had bags with them. And the whole gimmick of them is they're trying to get into the building. They finally get into the building, and we never see them again. Val Venus shows up. Orlando Jordan shows up. Jeff Hardy shows up in the beginning, and they treat him like he's some jobber. He was the WWE's champion. He should get more than that. Shannon Moore showed up with Jeff Hardy, and of course, Ric Flair showed up. No RVD, which I was kind of upset. I heard he's going to be coming back in the coming weeks. But TNA, it all looked good on paper. Jeff Jarrett came back. I mean, Jesus Christ. But they just put too much. Wrestling-wise, if it wasn't for main event, I would have said that is possibly the worst wrestling show, wrestling-wise, I've ever seen in my life. That was fucking horrendous. They do the Terror Dome. I'm really looking forward to this match. Homicide used as a weapon, and so he gets disqualified, and the ref throws the match out. Huh? And then Homicide climbs to the top for whatever fucking reason. All the people climb up to chase him, then Homicide falls down. And then the people fall down. Homicide somehow skips the cage. Jeff Hardy makes his return. Twist of Fate's Homicide. And then you see him high-five Shannon Moore in the back. And then he paints a painting. And then girls are chasing him at the end. And then he just goes away in his car and he gives his painting to the girls. They treated him like he was fucking nothing. Then we had the Knockouts title match, which was... They spent the whole Impact building up that match. That match was 2 fucking minutes, and you had ODB take the title off Tara again. Tara, another 2-week title reign. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable. You have ODB, pin her with a schoolboy, and then you have Tara beat up ODB after the match, all in 2 fucking minutes after you wasted 4 hours last Impact. That really pissed me off to no end. Then we saw Ric Flair come out. No big deal. He comes out of his limo, and was like, woo! And then he just goes through a door, and we never see him again until the end. Hogan cuts a promo where Scott Hall, Nash, and X-Pac, and he says, we have to help TNA. We can't build ourselves. We have to earn our spots. Eric Bischoff comes out, says the exact same thing. And they're just saying, we have to fight for our roles in TNA. We have to do what's right in TNA. Just saying that bullshit, and Eric Bischoff tears up the original script and gets a new one, I guess. And so, Hamada and Kong versus Sarita and Taylor Wilde. Again, Hamada and Kong, a team just thrown together, tag team champions. Why are these titles even existent in TNA? It was a good match for what it was. I mean, it was a very enjoyable match. It was like a good 2 to 3 minute match. I really enjoyed it. Hernandez and Matt Morgan then fought Dr. Stevie and Raven in like a 2-minute pointless match. I love Desmond Wolfe, Nigel McGuinness with all my life. I really love him. One of my favorite wrestlers in the industry today. He's yet to win a match in TNA. He had a draw with Daniels, I believe. He lost to AJ on TV. He lost to Angle twice on pay-per-view. He fights the Pope. Orlando Jordan made his appearance here. Oh, yeah, I forgot. And Velvet, Angelina Love did not show up. She did not show up the whole night either. You had Velvet Sky, Madison Rayne, and Lacey Von Erich doing strip poker, which obviously we know was going to happen. They show them playing strip poker. They show Lacey take off her shirt. And then they go back like 30 minutes later, and they're in the bra and panties. Val Venus comes in with the towel around his waist. Same old same. And the Pope fights Nigel, Orlando Jordan. I always thought Elijah Burke was really similar to Orlando Jordan. So I'm glad Orlando Jordan had that confrontation with him. And then Nigel fought Pope. And Nigel lost in 2 minutes to a roll-up. Nigel lost in 2 minutes to a roll-up. God fucking damn it, TNA. Jarrett comes out, makes a great speech, and Hogan says, "Get out of here. I work with Dixie now. We don't want you. You're going to have to earn your spot." Is Hogan fucking heel now? What the fuck is going on? This is so confusing. And then they say, we're not going to have Angle AJ on Genesis. We're going to have it tonight. And I'm thinking, fuck. We still have a few more matches. This thing is going to be completely overbooked. You have Joe and versus Abyss. See, I don't get this. I think it was the NWO who were taking out people all night. Well, Scott, Nash, and X-Pac. They took out the Guns after the Terror Dome. They took out Rhino. So we don't get a barbed wire massacre match, which we were promised. Fuck you, TNA. We got Abyss versus Joe, which was actually kind of a decent match. Abyss got the win, thank God. I was actually afraid he was going to job. In a short match. Then Beer Money gets attacked, so we don't get Beer Money versus British Invasion or Full Metal Mayhem. And we don't get a replacement for that at all. They just scrap that off. We get Angle AJ. It gets a lot of time. It's a great main event. I give it like 4.25 stars. I thought it was excellent. Excellent stuff. Really good stuff. But that should have been on pay-per-view. They took the match out of Genesis and had it on Impact. There's only one Impact left to hype Genesis. And we have zero matches announced for that card. How is that pay-per-view going to turn out? Now, I think people will have said Impact was a great show because you saw all the debuts. And you saw the little NWO tease at the end where Foley approached Bischoff. And then Hall, Nash, and X-Pac beat him up. And Hogan walked in with a confused face. That was cool. But, and I admit, it was nice, to see them all back. It felt like a fun show. You kind of had fun, especially with the back and forth thing, with all the debuts coming in. But there was no wrestling besides the main event, which was excellent. There was really nothing to watch on the show. The booking decisions were fucking horrendous. Everything was so cluttered together. You just could not enjoy it. I prevented myself from enjoying it. Now, Raw wasn't that great either. The opening with Bret and Shawn, them apologizing, handshake, hug. God, I love that so much. I thought that was excellent. This is not just storyline kayfabe here. They're saying true shit. Like I remember Shawn said, "I know, Bret, I always thought you never respected me, and I know you kind of feel the same about me." And that's actually in Bret's fucking book. Great stuff there. Then Raw has a 4-way. Jack Swagger, MVP, Carlito, and Mark Henry. I thought that was better than the Terror Dome, to be honest. I thought it was a fun match for what it was. It was really short as well, but better than the Terror Dome, which was just bullshit. MVP fights The Miz. Yeah, blah, blah. I'm really upset that Jericho had a confrontation with Bret, which was very funny. When Bret said, "Jericho, you were the one who screamed the loudest in the Heart Dungeon." I really liked that. Then we had a Jericho DX. Well, we had Maurice and Bella, which I thought was better than ODB Terra. I seriously thought Maurice Bella put on a better match than ODB Terra. But Jericho fought DX. DX won. Bret Hart didn't interfere at all. Jericho's gone from Raw. What the fuck? Then we had Kofi Orton. It was an okay match. Orton wins cleanly. So that feud's fucked over. I really like what they did with Legacy, where Legacy said, "Orton, if you don't win, we're going to kick you out, and we're going to kick your ass." Like Orton told them last week, and I thought that was great. And then Orton just wins. It was just so pointless. Evan Bourne fought Sheamus. This was the most exciting point of the night for me. He challenged Sheamus. Sheamus says, "You beat me, I'll give you a title match at the Royal Rumble." Evan Bourne, in 30 seconds, beats him down and gives him the shooting star press. I am not lying. I don't care if I'm a smart mark, and I know that Evan Bourne's not going to win. He hits that shooting star press. Sheamus does not move out of the way. Sheamus is not close to the ropes. I seriously thought Evan Bourne was going to win the match. For that point, I'm like, holy shit. Fucking Evan Bourne's going to fight Sheamus at the Royal Rumble for the title. Sheamus kicked out, which I thought was cool, but, I've never seen anyone kick out of that move. Then Sheamus has joined Evan Bourne. Then Bret Hart had a confrontation with Vince McMahon at the end, which was okay. But then they gave a hug, they made a truce, and then Vince kicked Bret in the nuts, and Raw went off the air. I thought that was a great moment. I thought that was booked excellently. Just a big Vince kicked Bret in the groin as Raw was going off the air. Beautiful. Setting up a future program between the two, setting up more Bret Hart appearances on Raw. Mike Tyson hosts next week. Raw was kind of boring and predictable, but I really loved the opening and the end. Whereas for TNA, it's just everything was so fucking packed together, and I'm still enraged about the Terror Dome, the women's match, the Barbed Wire Massacre we never got, the Full Metal Mayhem we never got, Pope Nigel. God, everything on that show was just horrendous for me. Horrendous. Hogan playing heel as he faced, the underusing of Jeff Hardy. The main event saved the show from being a total fucking waste. But other than that, I did not enjoy TNA at all. I thought they completely fucked themselves up. 12 minutes into the show, the fans were chanting, "This is bullshit." I did hear some slight "We Want Hogan" chants at Raw, but like very small, very small. So yeah, that's it. Fun night, really fun night to be a wrestling fan. I hope we get more of these, but the show is kind of underdelivered for the most part. Maybe we're at 10. I'm out, guys. See ya.